Hey guys, Colin from the Dynamic Beaver. Just carrying on from our last video where we showed you how to install the Beaver Builder theme, and now I'm just going to show you how to configure it. So today, first thing we're going to do is actually just do something that I do on every WordPress installation, and that is go into my settings, permalinks, and let's change it from the default kind of random number that it assigns up there to one that's it's called post name down here. Now what that's going to do is it's going to name the title of your page based on the post title that you give it and not just a random number. That will help your results show up, or your pages show up better in Google. So let's just save that. Okay, and let's go back up to our appearance and see where we were at. So this is where we left it last time, and what I'm going to do is just show you the page of the default installation. There it is, nothing really fancy right now, but that's the default right out of the box Beaver Builder theme. Okay, so let's go and see if we can start doing some configuring here. So the first thing we need to do is, if we look at this, we don't have a menu up here. So if I click on this button, it's actually going to take us to the admin menu over here, and it's going to say, hey, create a menu. So let's do that right now. Let's create a menu, and I've done one before, so it's main menu. I'm going to create that. Make sure you leave that lowercase with no spaces. As you can see, I've got a hyphen between there. But what we're going to do, we've got no items in here yet. So I'm going to save that menu, and we're going to add some items to it in a minute. So let's add some pages really quickly. So most websites have got a home page, so let's add that as a page. Okay, there's our home. We're going to publish that. And next page that most websites have is an about page. So let's create the about page. There's the about, and I'm going to publish that. And the next page we'll have is a contact page. So let's add a contact page. Okay, and just do this really quick. Contact, and we'll publish that. And last but not least is a blog page. Let's just do a blog page. You might be a business and have something like a services page or a products page, but for this purpose, we're just going to use those 4 menu items. So there we go. We've got 4 menu items. I'm actually going to go back to my appearance menus. And what we're going to see is we're going to see those 4 items. There they are in the left-hand side. So I'm just going to select them all, and I'm going to add them to my menu. Okay, there we go. Just going to arrange them around a little bit. So just drag this up to the top there. We'll put the about page after the home. This is all your preference. You don't have to have them in this order, but I tend to like to put those two together. Okay, so we need to assign this to a theme location. We have 3 theme locations actually in the Beaver Builder theme. We have a top menu bar, and that's like this one up here. This would be like this black bar at the top here. And then we have the header menu bar. Now that one's just going to be a little bit lower, and then obviously the footer menu would be down at the bottom. So the middle one we want to select is the one the majority of the time we want to use. So I'm going to select the header menu, and we're going to click Save Menu. So now that menu is saved, let's actually go back and have a look at our actual front page again. And as you can see, we've got a menu now. Perfect. That's exactly the way I wanted it. So I'm going to go back now into our appearance, and we're going to go to Theme Settings. First thing you're going to see in the theme settings is that we're selected with default onto the skin tab, and you're going to see all these skins over here. So skin is just a term for look basically, and the one that we've got selected as default is this one here called well, they're all called automated, but this is the first one that we've got there. It's a light blue and gray finish, very kind of contemporary and safe, let's say. So let's just say we want to go with a darker theme. This is just to make life easier. Let's just choose, I don't know, let's choose this one down here. So we're going to choose that dark skin. I'm just going to click Save Settings. Now let's go and look at our front page again and see what difference that makes. So if I click F5 to refresh, there we go. So that was right out of the box. I've just changed the whole look of this website by changing the skin. That's a really nice feature there. So what I'm going to do actually, just to make life a little bit easier for your eyes, is I'm going to go back and change that skin to this one again, the default skin. Okay, and as you can see, we're going to save that. If we go back there one more time, just make sure we've got it back. There we go. All right, so we're back to the basic default scene. But one of the things you can do with the skins is you can see you've got lots of choices to start off with, and you know these are all good to play around with, and they can save you a lot of time in configuring colors of menus and backgrounds and such. And so next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the Design tab. Okay, so let's start off from the top and we'll work our way down. So the layout box here is set to full width. Okay, if we look at our theme again, you can see it goes from edge to edge on the browser. Now let's just say we don't want to have it edge to edge. We're going to choose this option and go with the boxed option. Now we can save the settings there, and if we go back and refresh our front page there, we can look and you can see that now we are constrained to a certain width without having gone all the way over to the edge. And so let's just leave it like that for a minute, and we'll just go down all these other options here. So the accent color is the blue, and as you see on this theme here, the blue is there. If I hover over the menu items, they turn into the blue, so that's an accent color. The title header font over here turns into blue, and as you can see, all these little bits are all blue. So if we want to change that accent color, and let's just say we want to go with, let's go with some kind of orange color, and we've got the color picker here. I'm going to go down and choose an orange color down here somewhere, drag that up over to that corner, and okay, so let's save that. And if we go over to our front page again, we'll see that now we have the orange all over the place. Okay, so as you can see, even if I hover over the menu, the background, the hover cover changes. Now, I'm going to leave it at the orange for now. Actually, you know what? We're going to make it a little bit darker than that so it's a bit easier for you to see. So I'm just going to drag this slider down a little bit. There we go. And that's more of a reddy orange. And if we have a look at that and refresh the page, you'll notice it's a little bit darker. There we go. It's more of a red actually than an orange, but we'll leave it at red. It's going to make things easier for you to see. So that's the accent color. Okay. Next is our heading font. Okay, so our heading font is, this is a heading font. Okay, this is actually a heading font, and our heading font refers to all of our H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and even H6 fonts. Okay, so that it will be the same font for all of them. Right now it's set at Helvetica, but if we wanted to change that to something, I don't know, crazy, like, here are all the Google fonts, by the way. If we want to change that to, I don't know, let's say Lobster. Lobster's a bit obscure. We'll save that setting there, and you're going to notice that on the front screen, this header font is really going to change. There's the refresh. There you go. That's how easy it is to change all the fonts on your page. Isn't that pretty cool? Anyway, I'm going to go back and just put it back to Helvetica just for the purpose of this demo. So let's choose Helvetica. We'll save the settings. Now, also, I've got a weight here, so I can actually make them thicker or thinner. That's the best way of explaining how the font weight works. It doesn't make it bigger or smaller, it makes it thicker or thinner. So the standard is a normal 400, okay? And if I go to bold, for example, actually, you know what? Let's just go back to our front page here, do a refresh because we changed it back to Helvetica. I want you to keep an eye on how thick that font is there. Okay, so we'll go over here. We're going to change this to bold 700. Click the save settings again and refresh it. And now you can see it's a lot bolder. Okay, so that's what the heading weight font does. We'll put that back to 400, which is in the middle. And the heading text color. So this one's pretty logical. If I change the color of this to I don't know, something, let's go blue. There we go. Change this. This is actually going to change the header font's color. So all the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6 fonts are going to be blue. So that is separate from the accent color. So I'm going to refresh this. You're going to notice that, see how it's blue over here now and blue over there. So that's what changes the main color of the H heading fonts, H1, H2, etc. Now the body font is the one that's down here. This is the body font, and this is what your main text is. Okay, so what we're going to do is set to Roboto, and we can change that to anything we want, but you can change it to Helvetica or have it as lobster if you want. I mean, let's have a look what it looks like as lobster, for example. It's going to be interesting to read, but hey, let's have a bit of fun, shall we? So let's go over here, and I bet you this is really weird, but I've never done a body font in lobster before, but let's have a look, see what it looks like. Wow, okay, so that would really hurt your eyes to try and read a blog post on that font, wouldn't it? Anyway, it demonstrates how we can change the main body font on all this content page. So let's just change that back to something that we kind of like. You know what? And we'll just keep it at Helvetica. And I know it was at Roboto, but I'm going to keep it Helvetica. Now this is also the color of the font here. As you can see, we've got a pretty dark gray. I'm going to make that a little bit darker. And we're going to save those settings again. Now if I go back to that front page, well, Lobster's gone and Helvetica is back, so that's also a little bit darker, probably easier to read on the contrast there. So that's the text taken care of. Now the body background, sorry, we're going to look at the body background is a gray. Okay, so when we look at the body background, we're referring to this area over here, around here, and around the edge there. That's the body background. So if I go back in, I can change the color of that to whatever color I want. So if we want it completely white, we can change it to white, and we'll save our settings. We won't see much of a difference between the page and the content area and the body right now if I refresh that. So it's all going to be white, as you can see. So that's your background color. You can also choose an image to put in there, and that's something I'm going to do more on an advanced training on the theme settings. So I'm going to save it. I'm going to leave it at a pretty dark color like that. It gives us some contrast. And as you can see, you can choose an image, and we can get into these settings. This is more of an advanced setting that I want to cover later on. So I'm just going to turn that off for now and leave it at a color. Now the content background is the area we've got in here. If we refresh that page now, we're going to have that dark content around there. Now the white part in here is the content background. So if we go in here and choose, let's choose a really horrible yellow color. Let's go down to yellow. I don't know. Take it down a bit more. There we go. That's horrible. That's going to be my content area. Let's have a quick look, and let's have and refresh that page. Wow, that's what you call eye straining. That really hurts, doesn't it? Okay, I'm going to go and turn it off because it looks horrible. Sorry, if you like making websites like that, I'm sorry, but you won't be in business for very long if you do. Okay, so we're going to save those settings. So we're back to white now. Let's go and quickly refresh that page so we don't have to see the yellow again. There we go. Whew, that was close. All right, so let's go down to our next section, which is our top bar background. Okay, so right now our top bar is actually it's not visible because we don't have any content in there. But let's just change it. Let's make it a custom color, and then we can see if it actually comes up. So I'll just make it a gray. And we'll choose settings there, save settings. Refresh this. Let's look at the top there. As you can see, okay, so this is actually our header area, not our top bar. It's actually our header area, and that's what. Did I just go into the wrong place? Yes, I did. I was going to say, okay, I just screwed up there. Totally screw up. That's our header area. I thought I was in the top bar area, so I was going to change the color here, and let's go with black. That works for me. And what we're going to do is we're going to see that bar across. I'll come back to the header area in a minute. That bar across the top there is now going to be black. There you go, you see? And that's what that does. We can actually take that off and go none, so there isn't actually a top bar color there. Save the settings, and we'll go back quickly and have a look. And there you go. There's no top bar color there. So that's that one taken care of. It's actually transparent at that point. And we're going to go take care of that header background. As you can see, this one here, header background, is self-explanatory. It actually controls the header color. We can also set this as the same as our content area, which means it's going to be white. Okay. We can also save it as a color and add a gradient to it. So let's put a bit of a silvery kind of color on that header. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to actually enable the gradient. Okay, and I'm going to go up here and save my changes. And let's refresh that page again. And let's have a look. So we should have a nice little, there you go. We can see it's got a darker top and darker bottom. We've got a lighter in the middle. It's a very, very subtle gradient, but certainly a gradient. So I'm going to leave it like that for now. And next we have our, let's scroll on down. Okay, so we have our footer widgets background. Right now we don't have any footers in there, so it won't make any difference. But you know what? Let's go in and add a widget, and then you'll see what I mean. So right now at the bottom here we don't have any widgets in the footer area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to widgets under appearance. Okay, and I'm going to drag a calendar over to the footer area, and I'm just going to put it in at number 2. Okay, save that. You don't have to do anything other than that, because the calendar is a good one to see, good one to use if you just want to see a widget area. And I'm going to press F5. Okay, so now we've got this big one big calendar on the bottom here, because I've only obviously used one widget. But let's go in and look at the footer widget area background. So we go to appearance, theme settings, and back to my design. Okay, and right now we're going to change our color. It's same as content. We're going to do it to custom, and I'm going to change that to a dark gray. Okay, so we're going to save that, save our settings, and let's go and have a look up here. Okay, so let's do that F5 again. There we go. So that would be our widget, footer widget area. And last but not least on this side of things is our actual footer. So it's same as content, which we know is white. I'm going to do a custom color here. I'm just going to make this black, so we'll just go down there. Actually, you know what? Black will be a little bit too much of a contrast against that gray. We'll just go with a dark gray so it blends in a little bit there. Okay, so I'm going to save the settings. This page is looking pretty horrible, but we'll make it look better pretty soon. And that is our footer area. As you can see, it's actually a dark gray. So that covers the settings on the skin and the design. I'm going to cut this video right there for now, and then we'll come back and make it look pretty and show you some of the other options in the Beaver Builder theme. I hope you've had fun while we're doing this, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks. Bye now.